All right, everybody. So these notes will be over solving for y. And if you look on the side right here, I have some steps, but it's okay. I'm going to be going over all four of these practice problems, and then you're going to have a chance to do some by yourself. All right, so let me zoom in so we can see what we're doing. And let's do number one. All right, so you see number one is already done for you, but I'm still going to go through it so that you can understand what's going on here. So the question says, determine the parts of the linear function, namely the y-intercept. So that sounds important. I'm going to box that. Y-intercept and the slope. See, the slope of the equation given in standard form. So when I say given, that's what they give you. That's basically your questions. So how are we going to find the y-intercept and the slope and standard form? So to do that, we know that if we have the equation in slope-intercept form, and so remember slope-intercept form is y is equal to mx plus b. And some of you might remember that the m is my slope. So I'm going to write m on top of that. So I know that this is the slope. And the number for b is the y-intercept. So I'm going to write b on top of that. So to do that, we're going to have to do something called solve for y. All right, so that's where the term solve for y comes from. We need to get y by itself on this side of the equal sign. So let's look at number one, and we're going to go through the steps. First, we're going to inspect the problem. We're going to look at it, and we're going to circle the problem that we want to do. And the variable that we want to solve for. We want to solve for y. So it's already circled. Next, we're going to draw a line through the equal sign. Step 4, we're going to add or subtract the term if it's on the same side as the circle variable. So what does that mean? We're going to add or subtract this term 3x. How do you know if we're going to add or subtract? Well, we're going to look to see, is it positive or negative if it's in the front. So I see that it is positive, so I have to do the opposite, which is minus 3x minus 3x. Then we have to rewrite our problem. Last, step 5, we're going to divide by the coefficient. Now, what is a coefficient? What is the number that is in front of a variable? So we're going to divide by that number. So divide by 5, divide by 5, divide by 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. We know 1 is invisible. It's equal to, so y is equal to negative 3 over 5. We're going to leave it as a fraction, plus 35 divided by 5 is 7. So now let's do number 2. Oh, but first, let's find our slope. Our slope is the number that's in front of x. Our number in front of x is negative 3 over 5. So at the bottom, I know you don't have this paper, but you can put this on the side. We know that the slope for number 1 is negative 3 over 5. And our y-intercept is b. Our b is 7. So we're going to write 7 for y-intercept. All right, so now let's do number 2. Now we're ready for number 2. First, let's inspect our problem and circle the variable we're looking for. We want to solve for y. Now let's draw a line through the middle of our equal sign. And we're going to add or subtract the term if it's on the same side as the circle variable. So we're going to add or subtract 2x. So I see that 2x is positive, so I'm going to subtract 2x on both sides. Then I'm going to rewrite my problem. So I know that's going to cancel out. I now have negative 3y is equal to 15 minus 2x. Now, some people don't like it written like that, so I'm going to rewrite it. Negative 3y is equal to, I like my x in the front, so I'm going to rewrite it, put my x in the front. And you can do that as long as you keep your signs the same. So I have negative 2x plus 15. Now let's move on to step 5. Divide by the coefficient. My coefficient is negative 3, so I have to divide by negative 3. And our answer is going to be y is equal to negative 2 over 3 divided by negative 3. I know a negative divided by negative is going to be a positive. So I'm going to have positive. And I know this cannot simplify. So I'm going to leave it as a fraction. 2 over 3x. And then positive 15 divided by 3 is going to be negative 5. Now our slope, the number that's in front of x, slope, and our y-intercept is going to be the b. This time it is negative 5. Now let's do number 3. And I'm going to show you a different way of thinking of how to do number 3 and number 4, but it's the same steps. So once again, we're going to inspect our problem. And we're going to circle the variable we're looking for. Remember, we're looking for y. Y is right here. Now, we're going to draw a line through our problem. Oops, I messed up, but draw a line through the equal sign. And then we're going to add or subtract the term if it's on the same side. Now, some people always ask me, which one am I going to move? The 3 or the minus 6x? Well, this is how you can tell. So one way to do it is you're going to work PEMDAS backwards. So some of you may remember PEMDAS. The P stands for parentheses. The E stands for exponent. So exponent is like x to the n. Remember that? M and D stands for multiply and divide. And the A and the S stands for add and subtract. So if I want to do it backwards, I'm going to move anything that's being added or subtracted to y first. I'm going to start down here. So I see a minus sign. So that's a good sign that I'm going to move this 6x first. So to do that, we know we have to do the opposite. So plus 6x on both sides. Then we're going to rewrite our problem. So now we have 3y is equal to, and remember I have to put my x in the front, so 6x plus 21. Now I know that the next step would be to move anything that's being multiplied or divided to y. So I got to do the opposite. The 3 is being multiplied because it's right next to it. There's nothing in between. It's right next to it. So I got to divide to do the opposite. So this will cancel out. I have y is equal to 6 divided by 3 is 2x. 21 divided by 3, positive 7. And I know that my slope is the number in front of x. So that's going to be, where's my color pencil? Oh, here it is. 2. And my y-intercept is 7. This is the last one. First is inspect our problem. Circle the term I'm looking for. I'm looking for y. I'm going to draw a line through the equal sign. Then, first I'm going to add or subtract the number that is on the same side. So I see the x is positive, so I must minus x on both sides. Rewrite the problem. I have negative y is equal to 5 minus x, but I don't like to write it that way. So I'm going to write negative y is equal to negative x plus 5. Now we're going to divide anything, the number that is the coefficient. So now what is this coefficient right here? I don't see a number. There's no number. Well, it's an invisible 1. So we're going to divide by -1. Now y is by itself. And so -1, so -1 divided by -1 is x. And then 5 divided by -1 would be -5. And we know that our slope, so then our slope will be what? 1. And our y-intercept is -5. So I'm going to submit my answers right here. So let's rewrite our answers. Slope and y-intercept. So we did number 1. Number 1, we had -3 over 5 and 7. Number 2, we have 2 over 3 and 5. And -5. And number 3, slope was 2, y-intercept was 7. And number 4, our slope was 1, and y-intercept is -5. Now you are going to do these problems by yourself, all right? It's the same steps, and you're going to submit your answers on the hub. Submit answers on the hub. All right, and all we want is this. So you're going to be filling in these blanks. Okay, so for numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. Good luck. It's called CFU.